So when you land up in job, the first document is resume and LinkedIn, where it is your a teaser for your employer, where they understand your document before seeing you in person or physical. So the resume is something which is a document you about yourself, but you should not give a lot of information which will confuse the recruiter, right? So it should be something like customizing your CV based on hiring trends. At this moment, based on the hiring trends, you have to customize your CV, which is definitely required and definitely makes sense to the potential employer, rather than mentioning all things which we are good at, right? So the left side, what you can see is the traditional format where everybody uses the same format, like the year of pass out and conferences attended, the work experience, but there is no detailing on the work experience, all that, and skill summary, all that. So in reality, recruiters reviews about 30 to 50 resumes in a day. So you can think of the cumbersome process where we have to screen every aspect, and every resume is going to be the same, right? So it makes no sense when we are trying and matching to a potential job. So what the reality is, we source profiles based on the job description which is offered to a recruiter. So the job description will be in one place, and we screen the resumes one by one, where we have to understand and scan the information where the potential matches is there or not. Where you, if you could look at the right side, the information on skills, major contributions, technical skills, and the level of technical skills, experience ranges, the responsibilities they have mentioned, all that has to be mentioned so that we think it is a potential match. So if you ask me right now, it should be, the resume should be like a business proposal like this, rather than the traditional resume where people talk about their how you can boost your productivity, how what kind of revenue you have generated in the past, what kind of numeric aspects you have done, what kind of savings you have done. This makes more sense to me rather than a traditional resume where it talks about determination, hard working, and other stuff. So customize your profile resume as a business proposal to a particular company, rather than going for a traditional method of submitting a resume and then keep assuming things that they will call or they will shortlist, all this kind of stuff. So it's when a job employment happens, it's a tie up between you and the potential employment. So it should be like a business proposal, rather than what you are mutually contributing to yourself makes sense at this moment, rather than a traditional method of random job search. So LinkedIn is a very priority networking site, where if you are using it within a maximum potential, you can land in a good number of potential jobs. But for that, things has to be in place, because LinkedIn has its own algorithm of understanding, and it requires certain expectations from the potential membership, so that it takes you to the next level. So the number one is keep your profile up to date, because it asks for a all-star profile. So when it is all-star profile, it is something which you have to fill up every section, right from the cover page, a good professional photo, a good professional headline, where it talks about what is your current position right now, the summary section, the experience sections, all that. So everything, whatever sections is open to fill up, you have to fill up to the maximum potential, so that you get all star status. So once you become all star status only, then your profile becomes searchable and visible also. Second thing is, be comprehensive about your current skills and objectives. You have to be very clear about what is your objective in your presence in LinkedIn, so that people who review your profile can understand and then connect with you. So it's a two-way platform where LinkedIn is somebody whom you can also connect with, and some other people also connect with you based on your profile, skill sets, or college, a company, anything. So current skills and objectives is a very crucial part where we have to mention it very authentically and honestly. The third one is highlight the recent experience. So most of the section or profiles, what happens is they don't update what is their current status. So it gives a negative impression to the potential recruiter, or assuming something different, that this candidate is no longer a job seeker. So for which the highlighting recent experience is required so that a recruiter can quickly understand what is the current profile, and then connect with you with those kind of skill set and expectations. Updating headline with proper keywords and designation is very crucial, because that is the first thing where recruiters and other professional people watch as a first hand information. So cover page, photo, and headline has to be invested a lot of time and has to be more serious rather than keeping it very casual. Number fifth is let people know you are available, because availability in the sense you have to be engaging with other people's content and information or post, all that. So the way which they understand is by your like, comment, share, posting, all that, email messages, all that. So only when you are active you will be visible to more people, and that makes an understanding that you are available for work. Number six is build your network to the first degree, because first degree connections is more important, right from college graduations, your professors, your colleagues, any such information which your close acquaintances who connect with your first degree. The most important thing is you can research the companies you are interested in and follow them, because all the companies have this company page in their LinkedIn networking site. So you can understand what is their current status, what is their latest job services, latest news, and even latest jobs, whatever they are posting. So that happens only when you are available in LinkedIn and follow the companies which you are targeted in, right? So this is the right platform where you can segregate the current targeted industries, targeted companies, where you can pick and follow and understand what is the insight towards each industry and company. Number 8 is like Naukri, there is advanced search option also, where you can use a lot of information related to functionality, industries, based on the company, all that you can segregate and search for jobs. You can even ask for introduction to other third networking or second networking with your first degree connections, because whoever is available with your, if you go with a reference, that will help you in longer run rather than connecting yourself individually and then waiting for them to connect. Rather, you use your current references and connect first degree connections to refer other people, because you will be under mutual connections with many other people. So try to get introduced with those people which are really contributing, really hiring, and really doing business, all that kind of stuff, and then get connected with them. 10th is, especially for the graduates, you may not have a higher number of connections. So make use of this alumni association which is associated with your college. So all the colleges which are branded and other stuff, they will have this alumni network whose people or candidates will be working with various companies. So search for your college alumni network and join those kind of networks, and then try and introduce as yourself as alma mater, and then connect with people, try get references for jobs, all that can happen with influences of this alumni network. The major important aspects what LinkedIn expects is your engagement and activeness, right? It is not a site where you post 1 week per day, or all that kind of things may not happen. At least you have to be active. Right now there is LinkedIn app also. You can just have to invest time in engaging yourself and then make yourself active, so that people understand that you are active and engaging with others. There will be a lot of professional groups which is created by a lot of professional people, especially for connecting, networking, and jobs. So these professional groups you have to join. So as individual, you can connect up to 50 groups. So 50 groups is very, very larger enough. So you can start joining those very, very crucial job groups which can help you and get reference to various jobs. So LinkedIn professional groups, based on your domain, industry, and location, you can select and then use to the maximum potential. 13 is you can research your future boss and executive team. So as said earlier, you can start following your companies which you are interested in, and understand who is working, who is hiring, who is doing the who is by managing the entire business unit. All that you can understand by researching their LinkedIn profile. So with that understanding, you can get the insight of initial information about your future boss, and then get into connections and then make use of it. Number 14 is networking after business hours, because most networking happens in the late evening or late night, because that's when people have higher investment of time and trying and connecting with the other people. So make use of your evening hours or late hours in spending in LinkedIn to connect with lot of other people, so that your network is becoming larger, and make use of LinkedIn to the maximum potential. So the most important factor is handling emotions, stress, fear. So this happens because of a lot of assumptions, lot of bad rumors, a lot of unwanted news or fabricated news about job market, hiring market, all that. See, once you receive 10 information, 12 information, we are obviously like get influenced by the negative remark, and we become hopeless. So that's where meditation comes into a picture, where we get some rest to our mind and rest to our health and fitness, and even in other aspects also it helps a lot. So why you should meditate, right? So there should be a logic information on why we should meditate. So meditation plays a crucial role in reaching your maximum potential. So it is all dealing with heart and mind. So there should be a lot of energy in terms of handling disturbances, distractions, and assumptions, all that, right? So we are working in a scenario, we are working in a time where there are a lot of distractions, informations, and other stuff. So working focusedly requires a lot of mental strength and mental energy, which will contribute to our potential task and potential execution. So meditation will give you that kind of aspect where you can reach your maximum potential and execution of results. Number two is gamification. So people who meditate will have higher level of gamification. So now gamification is something which is refers to the folds in the cortex of your brain, right? So it is enhanced amounts of folds will have faster and active processing power. So long-term meditation is longer processing power. So it is like the processor which is attached to our laptop and mobile. The higher level of processing power, the higher the output. Same thing happens with meditation also. It is like internal technology where we have to practice, so that it expands our folds in the cortex of our brain to handle the maximum level of access, and then faster processing, faster activeness is required, faster energy levels is required to execute any task. So this will help in terms of those kind of verification in a scientific perspective. So studies shows that meditation increases the size of those parts which is associated to happiness, focus, memory formation, learning ability, and ability to empathize. So these are factors which will really are in need and essentials for our day-to-day survival, because at this point in time, the happiness and focus is really important for our internal strength and mental fitness and health. So these aspects really help when we practice meditation. The cool part is it is decreases the stress level, anxiety level, fear, depression, and substance dependence. Substance dependence is something which is related to the addictions in terms of lot many things, be it a negative habit or negative tendencies or negative attitude, or depending on various gadgets, or addiction to WhatsApp, or anything related to addictions and substance dependence, that will reduce your decrease your level of interest in various things which is negative in scenario. So this tool, there is a app called HeartSap, which is introduced by Heartfulness Meditation, where you can get help through this HeartSap free of cost meditation sessions, where people will give you introduction sessions, master classes, and other stuff which you can learn free out of this meditation. So this can be downloaded in Play Store, and you can start beginning your experience, first-hand meditation experience with this HeartSap. So I recommend to download this HeartSap to understand the various aspects towards it, and try this app going forward. So now I'm done with this, and anything related to questions and answers related to jobs and other stuff, I'm open for questions.
Now let's take to the questionnaire round. So, sir, even after all such information, people have some interview questions and some questions regarding to current scenario. First question is, why would a company hire a fresher in the current scenario when there are many experienced people out there being in the same field, but they are also jobless?
The first aspect is the cost, right? So the cost wise, the experienced professionals are more higher cost rather than the freshers. So freshers again, they are trainable, coachable, all that. So first thing is hiring cost will be very minimal when I'm hiring a fresher. Number two, he is coachable for the next level of training which is required for a business. So that is more important. That is the only reason where we hire freshers rather than the experienced professionals.
All right, sir. The next question we have, that right now each and every other student is in the rat race of doing certificate course. So does that really help in getting a job?
Definitely, as I said, at least five short-term courses you have to do as an individual, because one may not enough, because you will be competing with the current graduates also, and people who are jobless, laid off from their companies. They are also upskilling themselves to the next level. So the competition is immense. Like for one job opening, there are 10,000 applications at this moment. So you can think of the immense competition at the field, where only if you have a huge value proposition in your resume or skill sets, you will be considered for hiring, not for even jobs. For even consideration, you should have that kind of components in your resume so that you can go to the level of job interviews.
But sir, then what about the practical exposure of corporate environment, office environment, and personal interactions with colleagues?
That is the reason I am suggesting to take up the internship part of it, where you can get the first-hand exposure of a corporate, how it works, how the level of communication works, how the virtual team handling is happening, all that you can learn virtually. But physical may not happen at this current scenario, so you can miss out all the physical based team leading, physical communication, all that you might miss out. But that definitely not a stopping factor to go for a virtual internship, because in virtual internship also the model is going to be the same. You will be working with a lot of working people's, different range of experienced people, different language, multicultural people, all that, and you have to execute a task collaborating with them. Correct? So you will learn, scale up those level of skills which is required for a business. Second thing is, since you are virtual, obviously you have to start your email communication, where it is very, very crucial, right? So a lot of graduates may not even know how to write an email with a proper subject line or proper body of the mail, what to attach, all that. Most of the recruiters are get pissed off when they see resume at the subject line. Correct. So everybody writes subject line as a resume. So there is no context itself, right? So from now onwards, when you are applying for a job, you make it a subject line as what is your name, a pipeline symbol, pipe symbol, then what is your experience, or if you are a fresher, you can just mention that pipe symbol, then location and what position you are applying for, right? So this will help the recruiters to understand whether this candidate is very serious or just like randomly apply. Because lot many people, they do bulk mails, BCC everything, and then send it to various recruiters, right? So we understand that there's a BCC and then we are being used as bulk mail. So rather, you take a serious individual effort to write to a recruiter with proper subject line, professional body of the mail, and then attach the resume. That gives an understanding that you are serious.
Okay. So next question we have is, I am a fresher and just been hired, but put on hold. So should I find a new job?
Definitely don't stop anything depending on the industry or company, because everybody are in assumptions and everybody are in hope. So we have to take charge of our own career and leave out all the kind of dependencies which is the control limit of the employer or industry, right? So scale up to the next level on, go back to your earlier days and start looking for jobs, exploring for jobs, applying for new skill or upskill yourself, whatever it is required for getting a new job. Start doing that. Don't depend anybody at this moment.
Okay, sir. So also we have a question from non-computing and information technology branch. They say that, where do you see the field jobs few years down the lane, considering they have taken the hardest hit in these trying times?
The transformation will happen in all kind of traditional methods, right? Even in sales people who are the major hiring happens in sales in all industries. So every business needs sales people, right? But currently they may not go physically, they cannot travel, right? So that's the kind of lockdown time or COVID time we are undergoing. So all this kind of field job will transform to a different model altogether. The entire model is going to be changing in all kind of field work, be it sales or be it any other job which requires a physical presence. They'll be using technology as one of the facilitator to reach out people, right? Earlier the communication will be physical presence, physical appointment, but right now it's more like a video meeting or Skype meeting. All that can happen. So you have to insert technology in place in your field job so that you can associate and survive with that. So if you can't associate technology, then the field job is no longer valid and you no longer can grow yourself in your next level of career.
So we do have a live question from the audience. Uh, from Dhanalakshmi, she asks, "Sir, could you please throw some light on teaching opportunities in this current scenario, especially for experienced teachers?"
I think there are a lot of online tutor jobs are upcoming with a lot of e-learning companies, right? So be it from school requirement, college requirement, soft skill, technical skills, online tutors are much in demand, right? So you get into those kind of online tutoring site where, onlinetutor.com. There are a lot many sites you can search in Google and register in those sites to level up to the next level, right? In even Naukri, you can find online tutoring job. Lot of e-learning companies, lot of existing education companies are recruiting massively on this online tutor kind of a model. So there is no worry on in terms of teaching or education kind of a jobs. Only thing is you have to just prefix yourself as online. Any job which is traditional, you just have to prefix online sales or online, tutor, online teaching like that.
So, okay, last question for the session. This says that how do we present ourselves if we have our interest a bit different from our specialized branch?
Right now you have to pass yourself for your aspiration and ambition, because the entire country is facing the same challenge everywhere. It is not something happening outside India and we are facing it. It is common for everybody, right? So people will understand the scenarios post COVID also. So there is nothing wrong to move into a different space which is closely associated, aligning to your career, aligning to your domain, all that. So that is what I said. Adopt to a new career which is required for the current business scenario. So
But sir,
minimum
then what about the declining industries? Like you said, petroleum and chemical engineering, these kind of industries are declining. And let's say a graduation has been done in this subject, and now they have been offering sales or other kind of jobs. So how they'll be able to switch?
the industry leaders itself, they will transform to the next level of business execution. But that to happen, it will take a very long time. So industry leaders and predictions says it will take 2 years to come back to the normal position. No normal breakthrough itself, it will take 2 years. So right now we are running 2020, right? 2020 is gone. It's almost we are experiencing everything. So 2021 will be completely shut down for all this kind of declining industries. So obviously, go for a temporary job, temporary career shift, make yourself equipped rather than waiting for things to happen. So if you are waiting, then you will be wasting your time and energy, and you will be ending up with the frustrations that things will come back to normal. So things will not come back to normal. That we have to accept, and then move to a career which is closely associated to our stream, or even we should not bother about shifting to the other domains where the survival is happening.